did not get married if she is not married at that time. Or younger girls need a lower dowry. Or maybe because the parents are afraid that when they are away, she may elope with somebody. So what if she has premarital pregnancy? She leaves her home, go to her spouse's house. There she is harassed both by the husband and the in-law. There, no pregnancy care, no physical or mental support. There is also violence. So, childhood sexual abuse, different sexual advances, trafficking, then coercion, incest, all these are the girl or teenage girl or a woman is undergoing. Another important observation we have seen is that the girl becomes the victim of a marriage therapy. That is a therapy for a boy who may be physically or mentally challenged, or he may be addicted to alcohol or drug or antisocial activities. Then to improve his thing, the woman becomes, she is married to a very talented, energetic girl, taking not into consideration any of her opinions, her career, her education, everything is sacrificed. Then workplace harassment. So also, no, these older women are also not spared. Elderly women and also widows. So what to do? To enlighten us on this topic, we have eminent speakers that will deal with. So how to tackle all this is by law. Second is to prevent this sex discrimination that should start at home. Then third is women empowerment and education, family counseling, career guidance, premarital counseling. Then what is education, public awareness, all law, all this will only take care of such activities. So let me welcome first Dr. Joy Manjila, the president of IMA, to this program. Welcome, sir. Next, let me welcome the secretary, Dr. Pavan Madhusudanan, IMA Thrissur branch secretary. Warm welcome, Dr. Pavan. Both these leaders, because of their vibrant activities, were able to achieve the best IMA branch award this year. Congrats to them. So also they have won the second prize in AMS and CGP. Next, let me welcome Dr. Shobhana Mohandas, the vibrant chairperson of Women Doctors in IMA Thrissur. She is the consultant gynecologist and also laparoscopic surgeon. She's a very good organizer and a very good friend of mine. A warm welcome, Dr. Shobhana, to this program. Next, let me welcome Dr. Afaya. I have no words to express how vibrant, energetic she is, organizing every activities that is either academic, social, or entertainment, everything. And both these leaders have made the IMA Women's Wing and won a 4th place all over Kerala. Congrats to them. Next, let me welcome our own Deepthi M.
Third place.
Okay.
Third place and fourth place.
Okay, then sorry for. So I was said that it's 4th place, 3rd place. Congratulations. Dr. Deepthi also stands apart. She's also so good organizer, energetic and enthusiastic. And because of her organization capacity and compilation, this Thrissur Society was able to win the best society in the national level. So also we were the best society last year all over Kerala. And I welcome Deepthi to this program. Next, let me welcome all the speakers whom everyone is looking upon. First, let me welcome Dr. Suchitra Sudhir. She is the Vice President of Kerala Federation of ONG and also Senior Consultant, Ashraya Hospital, Mattanur. She is also involved in women empowerment activities, charity, and also a lot of educational activities. And she will enlighten us on the role of gynecologist in preventing violence. A warm welcome, madam, to this program.
Thank you.
Next, let me welcome the Honorable Judge Hani M. Varghese. She is working at the CBI Court, Ernakulam. She will enlighten on the laws, how women are protected against violence. A warm welcome, madam, to this program. Next will be welcome Srimati Seema Bhaskar. She is the mission manager, National Rural Livelihood Mission, which is a part of central government rural development program. Madam will enlighten us on the rehabilitation of women as well as women empowerment. A warm welcome to this program, Madam. Next, we welcome all
Thank
the
you.
IMA members and all the Togsians. Let me conclude. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Now I invite Dr. Joy Manjila, President, IMA Thrissur, for the presidential address.
Thank you, Dr. Bia. Thank you, Dr. Bia.
അവിടെ ബാ
എനിക്ക് അവിടെ നാരങ്ങ പിഴിയുന്നുണ്ട്. Okay. Respected
ജോയ് സാർ അത് ഒന്ന് മ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യണേ അവിടെ
ഓ ഞാൻ മ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. മ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ നോക്കി മ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യാം. എല്ലാവരും മ്യൂട്ട് ആയി. ഓക്കെ.
Sir, mute-lana. Joy, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Respected. Respected. Sorry. Please mute your phone. Respected President of Togs and IMA Vice President Thrissur Dr. Nishi Roshini, IMA Thrissur Branch President Dr. Pawan Madhusudan, WDW IMA Thrissur Chairperson Dr. Shobhana Mohandas, Secretary Dr. Abhaya VS, and Dr. Deepthi M, Dr. Deepthi M, Secretary Togs, then faculties of today's program, Honorable Judge of CBI Court Kochi, Mrs. Varghese, Dr. Seema Bhaskar, Mission Manager, NRLM, and Dr. Suchitra Sudhir, Vice President, KFOG. On behalf of IMA Thrissur, I welcome you all to this CME on Say No to Violence Against Women, about which we have got three eminent faculties, and they will elaborate on the subject. As we have got three topics and followed by discussion, I am cutting short my presidential address and over to Dr. Abhaya for further today's proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now I welcome Dr. Shobhana Mohandas, our own Chairperson, Women Doctors Wing, Thrissur, for the topic introduction. Shobhana, ma'am.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. One day, Abhaya told me we should have programs in WDW. So I said, Abhaya, let us take up this sexual violence. And then she said, no, not this month. I've got other programs. She's always full of programs. I said, next month, okay, we'll do. And then I called up Deepthi and said, we will do it combined. And Deepthi was also all fired up. Deepthi folks is also asking for this, so let us do it. So why are all of us fired up about this? Because we are day in and day out seeing people with sexual violence in our OPDs. One day a girl comes with postcoital tear. The RMO says, rings me up and asks me, is it for a product of conception, madam? And he asks the same question to the girl. And that is enough to get her a divorce. Because they think that suturing of the tear is equivalent to aborting the baby out. And that's enough. One sentence from the RMO makes a divorce in the family. This is the scene in our society. Can't you trust your own wife? Can't you trust your own daughter-in-law? And you see another girl coming into your OPD. She's coming from one of those welfare homes for, people who have been raped. And they've had just one episode of rape in their house. And that girl is talking about these girls as though they are prostitutes. I said, rubbish, you don't talk to me in front of me as if these girls are prostitutes. They are victims. They are not prostitutes. And this is something that is faced by each and every girl who undergoes rape. And we just sit and say, our girls are good, our boys are good, let us eat let us sleep, let us not do anything. I can't accept it. We have to do something. So as I can see a lot of gynecologists in this group, all friends from Calicut, Kannur, Thrissur. I maybe there are others also, but my eye will go only towards the gynecologist. The screen is full of gynecologists, besides a few others, of course. But we gynecologists, when we deal with these idiots who come and talk to the patients as though they are criminals, we need to know what the law is. And that's where we have a judge here. And we need to know how to hold their hands and give them courage. I have given courage to many girls like this. I have even talked to their mothers, because they are not allowed to talk to their mothers from their phones because the mother-in-law catches them. So I have given them my phone to talk to their mothers. So these things are faced by a gynecologist every day. I used to see this rape is not happening today. In 86, when I was a resident for gynecology, I used to see rape victims of 2 years and 4 years in my OPD. And Nishi in 2020 is also seeing the same thing. So things have not changed over 30 years, except that things are coming up on the screen. That's all. We are all seeing rape victims, but we need to know how to hold the hands of rape victims. Today, rape victims are willing to say, okay, I have been raped, whereas the girls in the older times were not willing to say that. So how to catch the hand will be taught to us, what the law will be taught to us, and the gynecologist will tell us what is the problem faced by us. So with that introduction to what we want to expect from this meeting, I hand over the mic to Dr. Deepthi to introduce the faculties.
I welcome Dr. Srivilasan also to this meeting, the senior state leader. Welcome.
Good evening, sir. We are honored to have you here.
Sir, welcome. As ma'am already invited, now I welcome Dr. Deepthi, who is the Secretary of Thrissur OGS, for the introduction of faculties. As you all of know, today's CME is on Say No to Violence Against Women. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you. Good evening, respected seniors, senior members of IMA, and dear Togsians and our respected faculty. Myself, Dr. Deepthi, I'm Secretary of Thrissur Togs Society. It is a proud privilege and pleasure to be associated with the women's wing of IMA to hold this meeting, and Togs takes great happiness in that, and we are extremely thankful to the IMA for giving us this opportunity. Today's topic, as all of you are aware, when we started thinking about it, say no to violence, I believe strongly in the line that if we strongly wish for something, the whole world will stand with you to make it happen. That is how we got the three wonderful faculty today together. The first one, Dr. Suchitra Sudhir, a very senior gynecologist hailing from Kannur with a vast experience over 35 years. She is the past president of Kannur ONG Society, currently Vice President of Kerala Federation of ONG. She was the chair of KFOG Adolescent Committee Chairperson. That is how I came to know about Madam's activities so much. And she is the founder president of the Sweet Trust on Women Empowerment, as well as the Deepthi M Millennium Trust, who is her grandmother herself. She was a social reformer as well as a Sahitya Academy winner. No wonder that gene runs in her blood. That is why Madam is always an inspiring person. Whenever we go for a conference and listen to her talk, we come back with hundreds of ideas and start implementing it. Madam, we are very so happy to have you here. And Suchitra Madam will be talking on how gynecologists will deal with this issue. The next online, Honorable Judge, Mrs. Honey Varghese. And when I'm starting to say her CV, you may think that she's a very old person, but later you will know that she is much, much younger than me. She has a vast experience in this field of 14 years as lawyer, and she was practicing in Thrissur, of which 5.5 years she was a government pleader. And 2014, she was appointed as the district judge, served at Kollam for 3 years, and currently she is the honorable judge at District CBI Court from 2017 onwards. Madam, we welcome you to this gathering. And we are I'm so thankful to you that you agreed to give us your time and your views on this topic. Next, we have, and when we were going through this topic, we knew that we will be, actually, we always end up having how low protect, what is happening, what is FOXO, etc., etc. But what is happening to them afterwards? The so-called word victims, where are they going? What is the path for them? So we started thinking, who will talk on that? And we got the best person to talk on that. We have Dr. Seema Bhaskar. Many were asking me what is an NRLM. That is because to make it short, we had to print it like that. National Rural Livelihood Mission under the Ministry of Rural Development. Madam is working in the Ministry of Rural Development since 2013 as Mission Manager for Gender and Social Inclusion. She implemented the Comprehensive Tribal Development Project in Attapadi from 2013 to 2017. She worked with the MHRD on Right to Education Act in 2011 to 12, State Project Director of Mahila Samakhya from 2008 to 11, Gender and Decentralization with Sakhi and Kila, PhD in Social Sciences, and she has done her MSW from Mumbai, and we are proud to say that she is a Keralite. At present, she has joined from Hyderabad for this meeting. And now realize we are so fortunate to have her here with us on this topic. So these are in nutshell about our esteemed faculty. Without wasting time, may I ask now Abhaya to continue with our proceedings. Thank you.
Ma'am, you may continue. You may call the faculties. Dr. Deepthi, ma'am.
Dr. Suchitra, please share your screen. We can start. Slide share, slideshow.
Can you see it, please?
Yes,
We can see it, but if you put it on slideshow, your words will be easier to see.
I'm keeping a slideshow. Start from the.
Now go to the bottom right side. You have that glass-like thing there. You click on that, that will be slideshow. Right down, 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 right side.
Right.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you.
Here we go.
So, good evening to all. When I was first invited by Dr. Deepthi, I was a bit nervous actually, because Togs is always a very, one model for all of us. The Thrissur ONG Society and also the IMA was involved. And I was wondering what this WDWA was. Dr. Shobhana just clarified. And today I was asked to talk about the role of gynecologists in reducing violence against women. Actually, violence against women is a Pandora's box because nobody wants to open it. If we start opening it, we see so many things that we don't want to see, don't want to hear, and which is very uncomfortable for us. We are comfortable talking about non-communicable diseases, even cancer, corona, whatever. But when it comes to violence against women and their problems, we shy away. We are uncomfortable. We are embarrassed. That is the thing. And as Dr. Nishi said, from the womb to the tomb, women are victims of violence. When people discover that the child inside the womb is a female, many want to destroy it. And when a girl child is born, when we hand over the child to the mother or the mother-in-law, they look at us and say, the smile fades or freezes. And they say, sarula, penkutiyana korpilla. It's all right. We will accept. That sort of attitude is there. Whereas when it's a boy, they're full of joy, actually. I say, oh, wonderful. Even if it's a third or fourth boy, they're okay. Then during adolescence, these little girls are growing into young, beautiful ladies. And these little buds, before they blossom out, they are crushed by hands that reach out to really crush their spirit, their beauty, and everything. And many a time, parents think that when their girl is married off, when their daughters are married off, they are safe. But are they safe? Neither in the house nor out of the house are they ever safe. They are victims of violence inside the house more than outside the house. And old age is no barrier. We think that old age, people will respect us and think, no, old age, we are more vulnerable to so many types of violence. So from womb to tomb, as Nishi madam said, women are the victims of violence. So violence against women was defined by the UN General Assembly as any act of gender-based violence that results in or is likely to result in physical, sexual, psychological harm or suffering to women, including threats of such acts or coercion or arbitrary deprivation of liberty, whether occurring in public or private life. So it's a very wide-based thing. It is not just physical violence. It is even a threat. If somebody threatens you, I'll do this to you if you don't. So that is also a violence. And also sort of coercing somebody to do something. If you want this, you have to do this. Those sort of things are also under violence. So that's the next thing. Then we go on to violence against women. Any act of gender-based violence is likely to result in resulting in sexual or psychological harm. Same thing I've told you. Then why are women the victims of violence? People ask, violence victims. Why don't they react? The thing is, we women do not react. Very rarely we take a stance against those people who are violent to us, towards us. Why? First of all, physically, we are a bit weaker. And many are not educated. They are not having any economic independence. And they do not have any awareness about their human rights. And in the house, as well as in the office, wherever they are, it is the males who control the decision making and the assets. They have no voice. In short, that is a woman. And there is no safe space where a woman can go to and stay. So types of gender-based violence, it may be domestic, sexual, physical, cultural, religious, socio-economic, or family violence, as said earlier. And domestic violence even includes verbal abuse. You see, in some houses, the woman is constantly abused by the people. The children as well as the husband may be always finding fault with the woman of the house. That is also a type of abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, and even isolation. The history of domestic violence is from times immemorial. And actually up to the 1800s, people thought that violence and abuse committed against women inside the house was the right of the husband. Can you believe that? So people thought he is the husband, he can do anything to his wife or his children. So later in 1970s and slowly and after around 20 years only, some legislation came to protect the people inside their houses, domestic violence. And can you believe it? More than 50% of Indian women, that is 56% of Indian women, believe that the wife who's beaten up by the husband, it was justified. Can you believe it? They say, he is the husband, so he can punish us. That is the sort of thing that has been drilled into the heads of our women. So, husband is the pati, he can do anything. So, they thought if they neglect the house or they don't look after the children, or if they go out of the house without permission, husband can beat them up. You know, in England, there was a saying, a woman, a dog, and a walnut tree. The more they are beaten, the better they will be. Have you heard it? That is really shocking. That was in ancient times, that's what they said. The more you beat them, they will be better. And this particular sentence was echoed by an Australian poet in 1996. And he was taken to task by the women for repeating that. So that is the attitude which people have been brought up with. And at birth, when we give a girl child, when we say it is a girl, the smiles freeze. The attitude changes. But it is up to us to give a positive comment. and say something that makes them smile. Either say, oh, what a beautiful child, or something like that. So we can do a little things like that. So violence against girls, it is in infants, young girls, teenagers. As Shobhana Madam said, they have seen 2-year-olds and 4-year-olds who were raped. Young girls are innocent. They don't know what is right and what is wrong, what people are doing to them. And they are very often, they are the targets. And teenagers with their good looks, their budding bodies, they are also easy targets for others. In India, we have the highest amount of sexual abuse among children, and mostly inside the house. That is a sad part of it. It is known as India's hidden incest. 76% of the children are abused sexually, and 40% are by at least one family member. 42% by uncles, and again another 42% by male cousins. 4% by fathers, brothers, and others. Very often nowadays, young teenage boys, they have access to all the pornographic sites on their mobile screens. So they think, why not we experiment? And who are the people they can experiment on? The girls in their family, their sisters or cousins or anybody who they can lay hands on. So this is a real problem that is occurring recently. And the concept of family is very sacred in India. When they say family, they don't want anybody else to know about it. They will be horrified. They'll say, our family's honor will be at stake, so we don't want to give a complaint. That is the problem. And social support is also lacking and very insensitive to children. And violence against the girl child is not just physical violence. It is differential access to food and medical care. The boy is given the best of food, and whatever is remaining is given to the girl. I think in Kerala it's not that bad, but in North India it is very, very common. Child marriage, incest, child abuse, female genital mutilation, child trafficking. And now we come to the role of doctors. See this little sweet girl. She comes with so many horrible things in her mind. And what do we as doctors do? First of all, we have to be aware of the POXO Act, which was brought about in 2012 by Member of Parliament Sri Virendra Kumar. There is stringent punishment for sexual assault and sexual harassment and pornography of children below 18 years. It was actually as a rebound of the fact that it was publicized in 2011 that the largest number of child sexual abuse cases are in India. It was a shameful fact, and that is how the POXO Act came into being soon after that in the next year. So I'm not going to the details of the POXO Act. We have got legal luminaries over here. And only thing we must remember, POXO Act defines a child as a person under 18 years as a child. All children are, all those below 18 years come under the gamut of the POXO Act. And all sorts of, assault comes under the POXO Act. Not only penetration, it is also collecting porn, criminalizing or watching porn with children. And also if both the children, if we're below 18 years, have sexual intercourse, it is a crime. 1 out of 2 children are said to be sexually abused. Can you imagine? That means we cannot close our eyes. We cannot say we are immune. It can happen to any of our children, grandchildren. And 1 out of 5 children suffer from emotional violence. And every 2.5 hours, every 155th minute, a child below 16 years is raped. And every 10 hours, a child below 10 years is raped. These are horrific facts which are happening in our country. So they are helpless. Their voiceless plea is help us. And what we gynecologists have to do, we have to be aware of the problem. We have to be suspicious. Our antennae has to be up. We have to think, could this be a cause? Could this be a case of sexual abuse? But remember, if we have a case of sexual abuse, we have to have the consent of the guardian before we do a medical examination. And then collection of evidence. And don't forget to get the history from the child itself. because sometimes the child may speak out, whereas the mother or the guardian may not. And reporting to the police station is mandatory. I remember around 2 years ago, one child was brought to me. The mother told me the child was around 5 years. 2 years ago it happened. The child was brought. Mother said she had bleeding near the perineal area. When I examined, there was a somewhat laceration near the vulva minora. I mean, near the near the labia minora. So I asked the mother, "What is this?" Then she said, "The child fell down and cut herself." Then after that, I said, "Okay." After that, I just talked to the child. The child said, "Achachinte nagam tattiyadanu." Then I was wondering what the grandfather's nail is going there in that area. So on detailed questioning, it was found out that the child was being left with the grandfather while the parents went to work. Both were laborers, and the child was being abused. The mother well knew of this fact, but she talked to her husband. Husband said, "It is my father, don't interfere. You cannot hurt him like that." So she was afraid that he will leave her and go. So she just concealed the facts. But when she saw this blood, she got upset. That is why she brought the child. Now that case is in court and is being dealt with. So we have to report to the police station, whatever happens. Even if the parents don't want it to be reported, it is our duty. Otherwise, we may even land up with 6 months of imprisonment. The type of crime may be of different types. It may be penetrative, non-penetrative, sexual harassment, either by acts or words, pornography, and more serious if the aggressor is a trusted person, like a teacher who is attacking a child. Recently, few days ago in Kannur, there was a case where a child welfare committee person was accused of sexually harassing the 2 or 3 girls who came to him through the POXO Act. So people are attacking them even when they trust them, even when we think they are the people who should protect them. And if the child is mentally or physically challenged, it is a great crime because the child does not know what is being done to her. So what do we do when a child is brought with a suspicion of sexual abuse? In the government sector, there is the safe kit, which they have to collect all the evidence. In our setup, what we have to do is take a nice white sheet, keep it on the floor, make the child stand on that, and let all the, if whatever hair or nails or whatever is there, it should fall upon the sheet. She is made to undress completely and given a fresh set of clothes. And remember, all these cases should not have any fees taken from these children or their parents, because this is supposed to be done absolutely free. So all the clothes are taken off and a fresh set of clothes is given to the child, her, and then after that, we get the detailed, we do the detailed examination, and then we preserve the clothes and other relevant material and seal it, label it, give the date, time, name, etc., and send it to the concerned people. The registered medical practitioner should, without delay, forward the report to the investigation officer. So usually we report to the police station. And when it is a POXO case, the police are very gentle actually. I have seen them, they come in the mufti, in ordinary clothes, the women police come, they take the child to a room and they talk to her, and the child is not really made to be upset at all. So that is what we have to report. And in case you feel that the parents are not going to allow you to report, please give the report. If you are sure that it is a case of sexual abuse, you should inform the police before the parents say don't do it. You may come under severe pressure, political pressure may be there, a lot of pressure from the local people may be there, but it is our duty to report. So in case we don't report, we will be on the wrong side of the law. Nothing in this section shall be construed as rendering lawful any examination, but we have to get the consent of the mother or the person accompanying the child. So medical, legal, and ethical issues. So just remember, when we are gynecologists, We have to take all the evidence, their clothes, whatever is on their body, then we have to examine them and then report it. Violence against young women, married or unmarried. Sexual abuse by unknown or known persons, domestic violence, or intimate partner violence. Intimate partner violence is becoming a big problem, especially abroad, where many of them are staying with partners, and nearly 50% of the homicides are supposed to be due to intimate partner violence. So this is becoming a big menace all over the world, and domestic violence is more, I think, in our country, and sexual abuse by known or unknown persons. The magnitude of the problem: every 26 minutes, a woman is molested. It may be in the house or it may be in the workplace. Every 34 minutes, a rape takes place. So while we are talking here, a rape must have taken place somewhere. Every 42 minutes, an incident of sexual harassment occurs. And every 93 minutes, a woman is burnt alive for dowry. That is, I think, in the northern states. And of course, we should be aware of all the laws. IPC section 375 for rape, 354 for outraging the modesty of a woman, and 377 for unnatural offenses. The difficulties faced by victims. First of all, as Dr. Shobhana was saying, when a person comes with a complaint that she has been sexually abused, immediately the staff will look at her with a different eye. See, it is the women who are sometimes the worst enemies of women. They will immediately, they think, oh, this woman is not of good character. If she has undergone such a thing, maybe she did something to deserve it. That sort of thinking is there. So immediately the way they look at the woman, the way they deal with her as if she is a criminal, that should be avoided. So first of all, we should sensitize our staff not to behave like that and tell them that it can happen to any of you. So lack of awareness is there. Victims may not know that they can complain, lack of health services, etc. And of course, the social stigma. Many of them think that if I go and complain my whole life, I will have the stigma that I have been a woman who has been sexually abused. So the WHO says rape within marriage, rape by strangers, unwanted sexual advances, etc. Then physical violence. See this picture. Whether the leaf falls on the thorn or the thorn falls on the leaf, who's hurt? The leaf. So whatever happens, even this case of women who are having acid thrown on their faces, they are mutilated for life, for no fault of their own. But still, people will look at them as if they are responsible for their own fate. So the gynecologist's role in domestic violence. Since most women are seen by gynecologists in various stages of their life, we have to be able to detect these problems by being aware of the signs and symptoms. We are like their mothers. So people like us who have been practicing for a long time, especially in rural areas, they open up to us and tell us their problems. At that time, this is the approach we are supposed to take, the AVDR approach. That is, make it a routine to ask. In the Bible, it is said, ask and you shall receive. Only if we ask, people may open up. So just make it a routine to gently probe about any violence. When you're examining a patient, just ask, വീട്ടിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും പ്രശ്നമുണ്ടോ, എന്തെങ്കിലും വിഷമം, ഇതെന്താ ഇവിടെ ഒരു ഇത് കാണുന്നത്, ഇങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ just ask them so that they will open up. Secondly, validate their statements. Unfortunately, not all women are angels. There are some people who, like, I won't name them, some of them, like our famous Sarita, Swapna and all that, they may make up stories. We don't know. So we have to be sure that these women, when they're telling us things, it is the truth. So if a woman tells, say, for example, if she says, my husband hit me, you must ask, when did he hit you? Where did you hit it? Where did it happen? Why did it happen? All those things you have to see whether it is the truth. See, sometimes people just say some things to make a sensation. And thirdly, documentation. Write it down, whatever is happening. And nowadays, all of us have mobile phones. Just put on the record button and let the voice recorder and just record whatever they are saying. Documentation is very important because many a time after you have asked them everything, they will just turn over another leaf and they'll say, I did not say anything. So you have to document whatever they say. And after that, refer or report to the authorities. So this is the AVDR approach that gynecologists should do. Then another thing is, a doctor should plan. Plan is provide privacy. See, in a busy OPD, so many people are there, so many staff are standing there. Then in between, you ask, anything happened to you? Nobody is going to open up and tell you. So if you have a suspicion, provide privacy. You take her to a corner and then ask what happened in the patya. Sympathetic, they will ask. So, and listen carefully. And also be aware of the legal, social, religious background of the patients. Because we should not interfere into all things that we don't know about. And never be judgmental. We are not great people or something. So we need not judge, just listen to what they are saying. So these are the do's and the don'ts. How to act. Be patient and calm. Don't be in a hurry. Don't pressurize the victim for their story. Don't say, you must tell me, nothing like that. Be patient, calm, let them come out with it. And let the victim know you're listening. For example, when they're saying something, just nod your head and make us have a sympathetic expression. And don't keep looking at the clock, oh, time might be, or looking at your cell phone and seeing what's on the WhatsApp, etc. But you should give her your full attention. Then the attitude. You acknowledge how the victim is feeling. She may be feeling sad, she may be angry, she may be desperate. You acknowledge that, but do not judge her and say, you should not feel like that. Why are you feeling? We are not supposed to do that. We have to just watch, pause and see what they're doing. And give the victim an opportunity to talk. And you can say, we would like to help you. That's why I'm asking all this. But do not assume that what you think will be the best for them. Encourage the victim to keep on talking and you ask her, so you keep on asking like that. And wait until the victim has finished talking, opening out her heart to you before asking questions. Don't just go in with that means when we give leading questions, they'll sometimes give some other answer which they are not actually meaning to. Then allow for silence. When a person is very deeply upset, they may not be able to talk. When the heart is full, the words are few, they say. So when you're very much upset, the words may not be coming out. So you just allow for silence. Do not say anything. Just wait for them to talk. And stay focused on the victim's experience and offer support. Just listen. And do not try to say somebody else's story. Oh, we not say. Even our own experiences, we need not say. Just listen to them. They are the people who should be talking, not us. And the actions which may be taken. Many a time, these women, they will come and talk to us about the domestic violence, things happening at home, mother-in-law problems. They may not want any action. That we cannot say. Some of them, in my case, I remember one girl, she came and told, my husband is beating me, he is drunk, all that. So I said, why not, if you want, I will take it up to I'm part of the Jagrada Samiti in our municipality. We deal with cases of domestic violence. She said, no, if you do that, I will be pushed out of my house, everyone will be against me. You do one thing, just call my spouse and talk to him. That's all she wanted. So I called her husband and said, I just gently asked him what is the problem. All that's her just listening to both sides of the story. Then he sort of calmed down and I think it had some results. So if we speak, we are people with authority and we can show that we care. There's somebody to ask. So we can ask the spouse or family member whoever is torturing her to come and talk to us. And if you want, we can refer the case to the family court or the Jagrada Samiti or to the police station, depending upon the severity of the case. Then older women. Older women are not exempt to violence. 1 out of 24 old elderly women are targeted. In fact, in our Jagrata Samiti, in our municipality, we often get cases from old women who are staying with their children. And they say that they are being physically abused. Actually, sexual abuse, we have not come across much, but usually physical abuse is there because when people get old, that hand-eye coordination goes. Sometimes when they are trying to eat the,
No, madam.
sorry. Anyway. So, denial of property rights and all that, and denial of medical treatment. In short, we doctors have an important role to play in the womb, refuse to do sex determination, refuse to do sex selection. At birth, give a positive and happy comment at the birth of a child. And in childhood and teenage girls, give awareness of the body parts and sexual health reproduction classes. And help in giving girls self-respect and empowerment, both physically, mentally, and emotionally. Teach them about the good and bad touch. In young women, remember AVDR and plan. In older ladies, a touch of love and care. Inquire about their well-being, hold their hand, let them talk. Remember, just a sympathetic listening and a few comforting words may save a life. Do you think we can do it? Yes, we can do it. We gynecologists can make a change in the violence against women. Thank you for your patience, Larry. Sorry, I took a bit extra time.
No issues, madam. We know that we have given you a big topic to be contained in 20 minutes. It was hardly very, very impossible task, but thank you so much for reminding us the few values which we are losing in our day-to-day practice. And we felt that you were talking more from your heart rather than from the slides. Thank you so much. We will take up the questions during the discussion time. Next, we move on to our next esteemed speaker, Honorable Judge, Mrs. Varghese, to give us a guideline, because always we are scared. The law is to like approach the legal side because they believe it is with the hassles or it creates more trouble. What has a judge, that to a female judge, to tell us about that? May I now invite Mrs. Varghese. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, Dr. Deepthi, and all other office bearers of this association for selecting this wonderful topic. But I have a suggestion. Your topic is say not to violence against women, but you should include other vulnerable group also. Am I audible? Am I audible?
You are
Yes,
audible. Somebody else has by mistake on their mic. That's all.
Because at least even after the inclusion of introduction of POCSO Act, children are also coming under the vulnerable group, and ever so many violences are being against them also. So they should be also included. That's a little suggestion from me, just for a suggestion. Anyhow, when I joined this meeting, I was very confident because of my lawyering experience. But on hearing the vibrant introduction of Dr. Shobhana, now I am little bit nervous because she introduced the topic in that much vibrant way. That is the very interesting thing. Usually, while delivering lecture on this subject, I will start from Constitution, because the Constitution gives the freedom, fundamental rights. As part of fundamental rights, it gives the protection for women and children on the strength of Article 15, 16, etc., etc. But due to time constraints, I will restrict myself to 3 or 4 important sections which deal the rape and other topics, or rather the examination of rape victims or other victims involved in POCSO and other sexual offenses. You see, after the introduction of POCSO Act, nowadays the rate of POCSO related cases is very alarming. Very alarming. Sometimes we may see some misuse and other things are there.
Even then, the majority of the cases reported are genuine cases. So your role is also very crucial in that field. While considering the medical examination of victims involved in POXO cases, you should bear in mind the principles laid down in section 27 of the POXO. You need not by heart the section and other things, but you should know or you should aware regarding the guidelines stipulated by the legislature in the statute. Section 27 is the relevant section introduced in the POXO Act, wherein it says that the medical examination of a child in respect of whom any offense has been committed under this Act shall, you see here the term used is child. Unlike rape cases, wherein women alone are the victims, no? Whereas, as far as the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012 is concerned, the victim is a child. That includes either boy or girl child below 18 years. That is the difference. That is what the term used is child. Here, when the examination is conducted regarding a child victim involved in POXO Act, notwithstanding that a first information report or complaint has not been registered for the offences under this Act, the examination should be conducted as provided under section 164A of the CRPC. You see, what I want to convey you to is this. Sometimes it is seen that some of you are very reluctant or you are insisting for the registration of FIR or complaints. If the victims directly come to the hospital, sometimes some doctors insist for first information report or registration of cases, etc., etc. That is against the provisions or against the statute. It is specifically stated that notwithstanding that a first information report or complaint has not been registered, you should not insist for the registration of case. That is what section 27 says, because the duty casted upon the doctor is to to examine the victim first. That is the thing. It is the duty of the police or other instrumentals to register the case and other things. One more aspect is there, because if you insist for the registration of case or registration of complaint, no, there is chances for delay. Delay will destroy the evidence also. That's why it is specifically stated in section 27 that you should not insist or you should not wait for the registration of first information or rather the registration of complaint. Then you see section 27, it says that you should conduct the examination of victim as provided as provided under section 164A of the criminal procedure code. Before moving to or before discussing section 164A, I will talk about one more things one more things, wherein it says that in case as far as POXO is concerned, in case the victim is a girl child, the medical examination shall be conducted by a woman doctor. You should bear in mind that here child includes both girl and boy. If the child is a girl child, the examination should be conducted by a woman doctor. That is the mandate provided under section 27 of the POXO Act. One more thing is that the medical examination shall be conducted in the presence of the parent of the child or any other person in whom the child reposes trust or confidence. That is also very important thing. You should record the presence of father, presence of parents. But that doesn't mean that you should insist the presence of parents. Either parents or any other person in whom the child reposes trust or confidence. That means fiduciary relationship. Suppose if the teacher brings the victim, or if the CWC member brings the victim, you should not insist for the presence of parent of that victim. The section itself is very clear. It says that either parent or any person whom the child reposes trust or confidence. Suppose even such persons are absent, what is the remedy available? That is also answered in section 27. It says that where in case the parent of the child or other person referred to in subsection that means the person to whom the child reposes trust or confidence for any reason. During the medical examination of the child, the medical examination shall be conducted in the presence of a woman nominated by the head of the medical institution. This subsection speaks about the duty of the medical practitioner who is the head of that medical institution. You see, you cannot refrain from the examination of the victim for the reason that either neither the parent nor the trusted person are available, but you should conduct the examination in the presence of a woman nominated by the head of the medical institution. Why I am saying all these things, or why I am stressing all these aspects, you should record all these things in the record of examination, because when you enter the box for giving evidence, definitely you will definitely subject to cross examination. Then the lawyer will definitely ask about the procedures being adopted while examining the victim. Then you should aware about all these things, and you should record all these things as rightly pointed out by Dr. Suchitra. The record itself should speak all these things. How the examination was conducted. That is what Section 27 of the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012 says regarding the examination of victims of POCSO offences. Then moving to Section 164 of CRPC also, wherein also the doctor is very much, the role of doctor is very much important. It is also very specifically stated that when if you get an information regarding the commission of rape or attempt to commit rape is under investigation, you should in under investigation, the victim should be examined by a medical expert. Such examination shall be conducted by a registered medical practitioner employed in a hospital run by the government or a local authority, and in the absence of such a practitioner, by any other registered medical practitioner with the consent of such woman. That is also very important. Here you see, with the consent of such woman. In the absence of consent, what's the remedy? That is nowhere it is stated. If the victim is not consented, it is not yet answered in the statute. Of a person competent to, or of a person competent to give such consent on her behalf, and such woman shall be sent to such a registered medical practitioner within 24 hours. That is the duty of the investigating officer or other police authorities. You should not worry about it, but you should record the time when you started the examination. That is also very important thing as far as the examination of victims involved in rape. So I have to speak about the drastic change underwent by the rape definition after 2013. You see, before 2013 criminal law amendment, in order to complete an offense under offense of rape, there should be penetration. But after the Nirbhaya, as you all know, after the Nirbhaya case, the definition of rape underwent drastic change. Even oral sex and 4 other categories are also incorporated in the definition of rape. Not only that, the earlier penetration should be there so as to complete the offense of definition. But nowadays, penetration is not at all necessary to complete the offense of rape. But instead of that, some other ingredients are also included in the offense of rape. So you should be very vigilant, because ചില സമയത്ത് കണ്ടുവരുന്നത്, സപ്പോസ് ഈ പെനിട്രേഷൻ ഇല്ലാത്ത കേസസിൽ വാട്ട് ഈസ് ദ നെസസിറ്റി ഓഫ് എക്സാമിനേഷൻ ഓഫ് സച്ച് വിക്ടിംസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു സംശയം ചില സമയത്ത് കണ്ടുവരാറുണ്ട്. But you see, as far as a victim of rape is concerned, that is what the term used under Section 164 of CRPC. Victim of rape. There is no classification basing upon the type of rape or type of sexual assault. There is no such classification. So even if it is oral rape, you should conduct the examination of rape victim. I will have a just look on the definition of rape, where you see a man is said to commit rape. Unlike POXO offences, here the offender is exclusively man and the victim is exclusively woman. Penetrates his penis to any extent into the vagina, mouth, rectum, or anus of a woman, or makes her to do so with him or any other person, or inserts any foreign subject, or manipulates any part of the body of a woman so as to cause penetration into the vagina, etc., etc., or applies his mouth to the vagina, anus, etc., etc., constitutes the offense of rape. So you should examine the victim of rape in all the cases mentioned in section 375 of the Indian Penal Code. Because what is the importance? You see, normally or usually we see that hymen intact, vagina admits 2 fingers, etc., etc., are seen written in the record. But you see, sometimes sexual assault cases, or even as Dr. Suchitra pointed out, how did the finger of grandfather come to that region, even without any rape or penetration? In that way, we should think. So, in such cases, there should be micro injuries. You should also note these type of micro injuries in the record of your examination. That's what I want to point it out, because sometimes as a conventional practice, we all go behind hymen and other things. No, we should not confine to those things. We should examine even the micro injuries and should record all these things in the report, because very important things. Similarly, you should cross check the history given by the victim, also with the injuries, or also with the result of examination, because whether it tallies or not, because then only we can ascertain the real issue or real cause of injury, etc., etc. You should record all those things also in your record. And again, you see, what are the duties casted upon the medical practitioner while examining the victim of a rape is also provided in section 164 of the CRPC, wherein your duty is to record. You should prepare a report of his examination. The particulars should be there. All the given particulars should be there. There are the name and address of the woman and of the person by whom she was brought. That is very important things, because you see, sometimes it may seem that by whom the victim was brought, that column, the column provided for recording this information, sometimes some may keep blank. No, that is very important information as far as the case is concerned. You should record that. You should ascertain it, and you should record that. Sometimes maybe by the police personnel, maybe by the neighbor, maybe by the parent. So you should ascertain and specifically record the by whom the victim is brought forth. Similarly, the age of the woman. Age is also very important, because you see, the fact of consent. As far as rape is concerned, the element of consent is very important issue. If it is a consensual sexual act, there is no question of rape. Whereas the victim says that there was no consent, or else the consent was obtained by coercion, threat, etc., etc., that is not considered as a valid consent. No. If the age of the victim is below 18 years, there is no question of any consent. That is what we call statutory rape. Statutory rape, actually, it is a misnomer, but even then, as a usual practice, we call it as statutory rape, because if the age of the victim is proved as below 18 years, before 2013 amendment, that was 16. Now it is enhanced to 18 years. That is the amendment brought to section 375 of Indian Penal Code. So the age is also very important thing. So if the age of the victim is proved below 18 years, the prosecution should not prove the fact of consent, etc., or rather there was consent and that was obtained on account of coercion, threat, etc., etc. So the age, you should record, you should ascertain and record the age of the victim also in the record. Similarly, the description of material taken from the person of the woman for DNA profiling, etc., marks of injury, if any, on the person of the woman. That I have already pointed out, it is not only confined to conventional injuries or other injuries. You should also examine about the micro injuries also. Similarly, general mental condition of the woman. This mental condition is also very important fact, because whether she is competent to give consent or not, that also should be considered. If the woman appears that she is mentally staggered or she is incompetent to give consent, in those cases the accused will not get the benefit of defense that she was consented for the sexual intercourse, etc., etc. So that is also very important aspect. You should record that also. Other material particulars in reasonable detail. You see, wherein your role is very crucial. Other material particulars, that is not restricted. Such and such facts or such and such details should be recorded. But you should, as Dr. Suchitra rightly pointed out, you should ascertain it from the victim or from the person who brought the victim, regarding the history, regarding the injuries and other particulars. You should record. That is very helpful. That is very useful as far as the prosecution for these type of offences are concerned. Similarly, the report shall state precisely the reason for each conclusion arrived at. What is the conclusion after the examination? You should disclose the conclusion in your report. Here also I want to make clarification. Sometimes it may appear that you will wait for getting the FSL report and other particulars for giving the conclusion. You need not wait for that. That is another aspect. That is the examination of vaginal swab, pubic hair, etc., etc. That is different aspect. But even before getting all these FSL report and other reports, you can give your conclusion regarding the injuries and other physical appearances and other factors which is leading or which is giving or throwing light to the commission of offense. You should give that report or that conclusion in your report. Then similarly, the report shall specifically record that the consent of the woman or of the person competent to give such consent on her behalf to such examination had been obtained. Whether she had given consent or not, that is also should be there. The exact time of commencement and completion of the examination shall also be noted in the report. That is also very vital in the sense whether there was delay or whether the time fact was very material, etc., etc., should be learned from the doctor's report. That is the importance of recording the commencement and conclusion of time of examination, etc. Then you are bound to forward the report to the investigating officer who is investigating the case. You should give the report to the investigating officer. Then you see, if nothing in this section shall be construed as rendering lawful any examination without the consent of the woman or of any person competent to give such consent on her behalf. That is the important thing. If you conduct the examination, if you feel that the examination is necessary, and then you yourself conduct the examination, your examination cannot be discarded for the reason that there was no consent on the side of this victim, etc., etc. You see, or else sometimes if consent is made that much mandatory after the examination, even after we know that the examination would be taken place after 3 or 4 years of commission of offense. Then the lady may come and say that there was no consent at that time, you would be in peril. So in order to protect or in order to safeguard the interest of the doctor who conducted the examination, the legislators are very particular. They specifically added this provision also. Even if the consent was not there, or your report will not be rendered, or your unlawful, etc., etc. That is also should be borne in mind. Then one more thing. One more thing means, in addition to the guidelines provided in the CRPC, I want to add one more thing. You see, you are duty bound to forward your report to the investigating officer. I may suggest one more thing. You should ready to consult with the investigating officer, because simply forwarding the report will not be helpful, because you are the experts. You alone are the experts. You alone are competent to give details of the examination and all other things. No, even the judges, even the investigating officer, we are all totally foreigners to this field. You alone are the experts. You should bear that fact in your mind. Then you should help the prosecution. Prosecution team means you blindly support that. That doesn't mean that you should blindly support the prosecution team. Your duty is to find out the truth. In order to help that, you should give the details to the doctors. That is not merely confined to the forwarding of report to the investigating officer. You are if you are competent to give statements to the investigating officer, you should also give statements to the investigating officer. That is very useful or helpful to the court also for finding the truth also. That should also your duty in the sense you should take care of all these things. Sometimes you see the police officers or investigating officers won't collect your statement. No, they simply collect the report. Then on the basis of report, they themselves will record a 161 statement. Then you come to the court for giving evidence. You may also astonish on seeing the statement recorded by the police officers, etc., etc. But without doing that, it is better to give the your own statement. That is very helpful. Then corresponding provision, another corresponding provision in CRPC, I want to discuss that also. Here, section 164A deals with the examination of victims of rape, whereas section 53A deals with the examination of person accused of rape by medical practitioner. That is also very important. You see, while dealing with our topic, that's our topic is say no to violence against women.
Madam, you are not on.
Somebody please mute yourself, and Madam Mitra, please unmute yourself.
Dr. Shobhana, Mitra is my daughter.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. You see, I know that I am running out of time. Anyhow, let me pardon. With me, I will take 5 more minutes. You see, section 53A of CRPC is also very important. Usually, we may think that section 164A, that is regarding the examination of victims of rape, is important, but section 53A is also very important. That deals with examination of person accused of rape by medical practitioner, because you see that is also part of collection of evidence. We should collect all these things, all the evidences relating to rape by examining this person also, wherein also it is specifically stated that you should record the name and address of the accused and of the person by whom he was brought, the age of the accused, etc., etc. of injury, if any, on the person of the accused. Similarly, the description of material taken from the person of the accused for DNA profiling, etc., and other material particulars. You see, what does the term examination means? That is defined under section 53 of CRPC, wherein it says that examination, the term examination is not confined to medical examination only. It's an inclusive term. It says that examination shall include the examination of blood stains, semen, in case of sexual offences, sputum and sweat, hair samples, and fingernail clippings by the use of modern and scientific techniques, including DNA profiling and such other tests which the registered medical practitioner think necessary in a particular case. So the the term examination used in criminal procedure code gives a very exhaustive freedom to the medical examiner. It is not confined to simply examination of body, etc., etc. Whereas it is specifically stated that whatever necessary for the collection of evidence as think of by the medical practitioner comes under the definition of examination. That shows the liberty, or that shows the freedom given to the examination. That means that is the importance for the collection of evidence, either at the time of examination of victim or at the time of examination of accused in a rape case. That also should be that also is a very important thing. Similarly, you see one provision in the IPC also. I want to enlighten your attention in that section. After the 2013 amendment in IPC, there is a penal provision that is 166B, wherein section 357C of CRPC also introduced after amendment, 2013 amendment. I am stressing 2013 amendment because, as you all know, after the Delhi Nirbhaya issue, we all think about the punishments and other situations which culminating the lesser punishments and other acquittals in these type of offences, and Justice Verma committee was formed for considering all these things. Thereafter, Justice Verma filed a report suggesting amendments, and that was considered, and the criminal law underwent drastic change, especially the offences against women underwent drastic change in the year 2013. As part of that 2013 amendment, section 357C was introduced in the CRPC, wherein the government hospitals as well as private hospitals are duty bound to provide medical aid free of cost for the victims involved in the acid attacks, rape cases, sexual offences, outraging the modesty, etc., etc. Because you see, sometimes the private hospital, I am not blaming anybody, but sometimes the private hospitals may very reluctant to provide treatment for these type of victims. They may refer the victims to government hospitals and other like institutions that may cause delay, and resultantly the evidence will destroy, etc., etc. In order to avoid that situation, all the hospitals are duty bound to provide medical aid for the victims involved in this type of, and correspondingly penal provision is also incorporated in the Indian Penal Code, wherein it says that punishment for non-treatment of victim, that is also very important. Whoever being in charge of a hospital, public or private, whether run by the central government, the state government, local bodies, or any other person, that is also very inclusive definition, contravenes the provisions of section 357C. That means the non-providing of treatment for the victims involved in rape cases, acid attack cases, etc., etc. Shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 1 year, or with fine, or with both. You see, that shows the importance for providing treatment for the victims involved in these type of offences. This is what section 166B says. Further, you see, again coming to POCSO Act, you see there is one more important provision, section 19. You may sometime insist for the registration of FIR registration of complaint, etc., etc. Similarly, you may come across with situations like that. The victim may comment after examination, parents or the person competent to give consent, or the person to whom the victim repose faith, and make them say that we don't have any complaint, we don't want to proceed further, etc., etc. Then what is your duty? Then you should think about section 19. 19 means when I am dealing with these things, no, I will give a stress on section legal practitioner. I will bear all these provisions and digits in your mind. You should know the theory only. Even then, I will give section deals regarding the reporting of offense, wherein it says that notwithstanding anything contained in the Code of Criminal Procedure, any person, including the child, the term any person who has apprehension that an offense is likely to be committed, or has knowledge that such an offense has been committed, he shall provide such information to the Special Juvenile Police Unit or the local police. You see, here the situations involved, both situations are involved in this provision, wherein even if the apprehension is sufficient to give information regarding the agency concerned, or else if the person has knowledge that such an offense has been committed, he shall provide such information. It is mandatory, very, very important thing. You are also duty bound. Any person means any public servant, any person who is conversant with the facts of the case, or or who had apprehension that the offense is going to be committed, is duty bound to information regarding that to the either to the Special Juvenile Police Unit or to the local police. Every report, then it is the duty of the person received information to record and read over, etc., etc., that information. Then one more thing is that if the person who fails to give information provided under section 19, what is the consequence? That is stated under section 21 of the POCSO Act, wherein it says that sorry, any person who fails to report the commission of an offense under subsection 1 of section 20, or who fails to record such offense, may give a punishment. Punishment means to 6 months, may extend to 6 months, or with fine, or with both. So I'm sorry, that shows the importance. You see, you are duty bound. Even if the person who accompanied the victim, or the victim, or whoever is reluctant to give the information, or they are very much reluctant to proceed with the case, you should give information. I know that the time is not time is insufficient. I don't know whether I am able to convey. I don't know. Anyhow, because of the time paucity, I will stop this lecture at this juncture. I don't know whether it is useful or not. Anyhow, I will stop it now, or I will conclude this section after limiting to these points.
Your Honor, you are wonderful. We want to hear more and more because it's a never-ending topic. But then we have other speakers also. So, but we are honored to have so much of knowledge packed from a very eminent person.
The thing is that the difficulty is that minimum 1.5 hours is necessary. We should minimum.
Yes.
That is
but our human brains of gynecologists, we are action-packed people, no? So we can't listen that much. That is our problem.
If you permit, I add one more thing. If you permit, I will take 2 minutes and add one more thing. That usually summons is being issued to doctors, not only to doctors, to all witnesses to appear before the court at 11 o'clock. You are duty bound to appear before the court at 11 o'clock. That is sufficient. But you see, it is better to meet the prosecutor concerned and have a discussion regarding the points. That is also very helpful. when I was practicing as a lawyer and conducting prosecution, I had an experience wherein you see, a doctor she came to the court directly at 11 o'clock. I had no prior acquaintance. When the case called, I submitted that the doctor is absent. Warrant was happened to be issued. Not only that, thereafter this doctor got അവര് കുറച്ച് ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടാക്കിയായി പറയുകയൊക്കെ ചെയ്തു. അപ്പൊ പക്ഷെ എനിക്ക് അറിയില്ലായിരുന്നു who is the doctor എന്നുള്ളത്. അപ്പൊ presence മാത്രമല്ല, it is very helpful for the prosecution also. കാരണം as I already pointed out, you are the expert. You alone are the expert. You should help the prosecution. You should help the court. That is your duty. അപ്പൊ അങ്ങനെ വരുമ്പോ if you come directly to the court, either the prosecutor may not have the opportunity to have consultation with the doctor. അപ്പൊ അങ്ങനെ വരുമ്പോ നമുക്കൊരു effective ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു examination നടത്താനായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു opportunity വരില്ല. അപ്പൊ you should also consult with the doctor. ഞാനത് പറഞ്ഞ ഒരു റൈറ്റ് സ്പിരിറ്റിൽ നിങ്ങൾ എടുക്കണം. 11 മണിക്ക് കോടതിയിൽ വരാനുള്ള സമൻസ് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ that's okay. ഒരു റാപ്പ് പോലെ പോണം. Because we all stood for the system. We all stood for the welfare of the system. I want to add.
Thank you, madam. That was very instructive. Thank you, madam. Though the word medical legal looks very lovely, usually the medicals don't go so much friendly with the legal side. We are always scared of the side. Thank you so much for giving us so much of knowledge in this short time. Really, it was informative. At least it was an eye-opener. Thank you so much. Next, actually, we are running short of time. Next, we have our esteemed faculty, Ms. Dr. Seema Bhaskar. As I had already introduced her, she is deeply into this field of women empowerment and research. Madam Seema, I know that she is logged on. Madam, can you please switch on your video? I mean, as well as, I think she has got slides to share. Dr. Pavan, I feel... Madam Seema?
She can share. No,
Madam Seema, you are already there, no?
I am there. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us. You can start sharing your slides now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Go to the green button on the middle of the screen.
Yeah.
The presentation has to be kept open.
Yeah. Are you able to see it?
No, you have to keep your presentation open and yes, now we can see it. Keep it on slideshow now.
It's just coming. Yeah. It's just
yes,
coming.
Great.
Yeah. So very good evening to all of you. I know it's very late and I'll be making my presentation very brief. So before I begin, I just want to share 2 anecdotes with you, which will show the interface in between various institutions working on similar issues. So in 2008, actually, as part of the Mahila Samakhya program, which is part of the Human Development, Ministry of Human Resource Development, in Kerala, I had the experience of setting up help desk in all the schools of Kerala. It was a collaborative effort with the education department and completely supported by Planning Board and UNICEF. So I just want to tell you 2 anecdotes. So one child, she was brought to me, she was in the 10th standard and she was actually abused by her father. And she had 2-3 siblings. And the father used to take her for different programs. She was an excellent anchor and used to sell her to several people. So mother came to know this very late, and when she came to know that she had been abused by around 12 people, she tried to commit suicide. Now this case was brought to me by the Women's Commission at that point of time in 2009, because they wanted some shelter for the entire family. Mother escaped suicide, but they were all in extreme mental turmoil. So the children were actually, all the children had been abused by the father, and she was the eldest of all of them. Then, as you know, that there were extreme threats because they wanted, a lot of threats that we should not be taking up protection of the children. But because we had Mahila Shikshan Kendras, which is supposed to be educative rehabilitation for children, we supported the entire family. Of course, we got a huge help from the Medical College of Trivandrum. from psychiatrists who really helped us in mentally rehabilitating the children, all the children. And the child studied with us. And then the case started in the court. So it was a wonderful, wonderful concerted efforts by all the departments we could see. And that is why I just want to, explain to you this entire case. And is that the police had framed it so well that, like what had been recorded in the case. And the judge, that should be only in camera proceedings. So you can imagine there were 12 accused, and one of them was her father, but she could actually, speak out in the court because in camera proceedings were, were adhered to by the judge, and she spoke like very well without. So there was a huge effort also by the psychologists and the psychiatrists who were supporting her from the medical college and the police department, and also the judge who actually enforced Sakshi. At that time, we didn't have the POCSO, so Sakshi versus Supreme Court of India proceedings. And we could put all the accused for life imprisonment. The case was taken to the High Court. Again, the High Court stood by it, and none of them were acquitted. They are still in the jail, including her father. Now, the entire family, all the children were provided education. She was taught law. I personally saw to it that because it was, she wants to become a lawyer. And when I explained to you, it would seem like a lie, but it was a very debilitating attempt for all of us because she was, it was a very excruciating kind of atmosphere in the court also. But we saw to it that she completed her education. She went in for law and she became a lawyer. And just to tell you that it's such a promising experience that the previous year on March 8th, she was awarded by the minister, WCD Minister of Kerala, the Health Minister of Kerala, during the March 8th celebrations. And she is presently working with the WCD department. So I think like if you have a very concerted effort, not only by social workers, by professionals, by the Women's Commission, by the police department, by the High Court judge, we can really, make this a very healing experience and raise children to high standards of education. So it was, just a beautiful experience. Now I just want to share you one more anecdote where we really failed. So, why we failed, I want to just explain to you. So there was a senior woman who came to me. She was like 50 years of age. And she came to me saying that my husband is beating me up. It was a huge case of domestic violence. And she had, young men, like young boy or young men as her children. So she was feeling very shy. She said that I don't want to go to the police station. So I tried to tell her that we have already advised him, we have counseled him, and we have tried all process to the family court and counseling you, but it's not working out. So you really need to file an FIR. So she said, no, my children will be ashamed of a mother at this age of 55 going to a police station and filing an FIR. And I can't tell you, why this is happening. So then we realized that it was a case of marital rape. So he asked her to perform in sexual acts in a way which she could never, really listen to him. And finally, what happened is that a lot of cajoling took place from our behalf for registering a case with the police. But she came to us when she was stabbed, and she was severely wounded, and we had to rush to the medical college to Trivandrum again. And she was saved. She was saved by the doctors, but this was a very bad experience. And you can imagine the pain of a woman like who is 50, in between 50 of age, having, young adults as her children and going through marital rape every day. And she didn't want to, she didn't know how to express herself. So with these two anecdotes on a very positive experience and also, experience which didn't really pave good results. Of course, we could save her life. She registered a case, and then we had to support her through rehabilitation in a short stay home. So I just want to take you through these slides. So we can see that this is NCRB 2019. So this is the crime rate against women in Kerala. It is 62.7%. So we may also think, so this is second highest in the country. But we may also think that because there is high reporting in Kerala, so there is the 62.7%. But we can see that it is quite high. And then there is murder with rape, there is dowry deaths, which is 8, and then is abetment to suicide, which is 40. And child victims of rape below 6 years is 54. Child victim of rape in between 6 to 12 years is 160. And child victims of rape in between 12 to 16 years is 373. And then when it comes to 16 to 18 years, it's much higher, it's 693. And crime against children is 50.9%. So which is extremely high if you look at it. And then you have women victims of rape in between 18 to 30 years is 429. And women victims of rape in between 30 to 45 years is 280, and women victims in between 40 to 60. So again, this is a huge question, because even senior women are getting raped, that is 49, and women victims above 60 years is 15. So that means senior citizens of the country are getting raped. And this is the latest NCRB data released, which is for the year 2019. Now, I just want to, come to certain measures which can be the hospital crisis initiative and intervention. Like, I think all of you being part of a hospital, we need to respond to all forms of violence. And we need to see that it is integrated in the existing health services rather than a standalone services. Because we know that any compartmentalization or a project mode would never work out in the long run. To make it sustainable, we need to integrate into the existing health services. And we need to respond to gender-based violence, and it should be integrated in the roles and responsibilities of the existing hospital staff. So unless you make it like part of your protocol, so now we know that what we do with the outpatients and what we do with the inpatients, so it's all part of the protocol. So health staff knows what to do. So unless it is part of your protocol and it is integrated into the roles and responsibilities of the existing hospital staff, it will only be made sustainable. And crisis intervention should be part of the hospital. And the training of the providers, not only the gynecologists, the doctors, but every health care provider, whether a nursing assistant or a nursing staff, it should be ongoing. So this, whatever course you are training, you should also be training them on violence. And then it's very important that you have a nodal officer and a core group at a hospital level for training, monitoring, and supervision. It would be important to get people from various departments, not only gynecologists, but different doctors with different specialities, specializations as the core group who would be dealing with these issues and who would help in the training, monitoring, and supervision as and when needed. And it is very important that the survivors of violence can directly report to the health providers. And we know that though we have Kudumbashree network across the state, there is a lot of resistance in talking about these issues in public spaces. So even unless there is severe violence, a woman will not even talk about the issues in a neighborhood group because she wants confidentiality. And maybe she would feel comfortable talking to a A&M, or she would be confident talking to a ASHA worker. Maybe she will not be able to talk openly in a SHG meeting or an energy meeting. So it's very important that maybe the first person she talks to will be the health provider, and she may have come for some other reason. So violence could have a lot of mental implications. So she must have come for some other reasons, but maybe she will be talking to a JPHN or she'll be talking to an A&M. So it's very important that they are also trained understanding the signs and the symptoms. So both in the outpatient and the inpatient consultation, because often there is a habit like which our doctor said right at the beginning, even present NFHS shows, that National Family Health Survey shows that women believe that they can be beaten up. Like there is a justification of women because we are brought up, we are gendered in such a way, or our socialization takes in such a way, we justify violence. So all of us justify violence. We find out different reasons. We say that my husband could be frustrated, maybe I have. So they start feeling guilty also. So women feel that, she must have done something wrong for the men to be actually beating her up. So there are so many justifications, so many explanations and guilt on the part of the women. So this is also with the JPHN, this is with the ANM, this could be with the doctor, some of the doctors who also think that, there is nothing wrong in the women being beaten. So it's very important that training is provided to understand the signs and the symptoms. And it's very important that they are provided medical treatment and legal care, which already our respected judge has spoken about, where appropriate and they are informed about the crisis intervention. And there should be protocols for documentation of the abuse and also an assessment of safety. Now, you may also refer to a protection officer. It's very important that if you find that she is not safe in her home, it is very important that you understand the case and you also refer to a protection officer, because under DP Act, as you all know, that we have the opportunity of referring to a protection officer who would be supporting her. And also it would be easy for us because now it is there in all the districts. So you could refer to a protection officer. You could also refer to her to Snehita. Snehita is a center which has been established by Kudumashri in all the 14 districts. So you can refer her to Snehita, you can refer her to also the protection officer, and you need to also develop a safety plan for her. So this should be there in your mind, and we need to have an empowerment model. It should be followed for crisis intervention, because there is power within these relationships. And, so it's very important to understand the power relationship and also to resist this kind of a systemic oppression. So it also could be cyclical. So once she goes back, she will again be beaten up. So it is very important that the safety plan is also developed. And also to understand the fear, anxiety, and shame, as a result of which she must have kept the violence under cover. And as you all know, there are protocols for sexual violence, which is there by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, should be followed, which already she has talked about. And there should be a gender sensitive pro forma, where there is a too much emphasis. See, I also had a lot of issues because we didn't get good medical evidence by the doctors who examined the children, because they felt that the sanctity and the virginity of the child or the notions had to be maintained. So sometimes even these reports were distorted, and also doctors felt frightened of coming to the courts. So we had some comments like, this girl is habituated to these kind of sexual behavior, or she has been having these relationships. So because of these kind of, which is unprofessional, we also lost out on few cases, and of very small children also, in my experience from 2008 onwards in Mahila Samakya. So it's very important that we do not make any comments on the sexual habits of the survivor and go into those kind of stereotypical norming of behavior. And it's also, you need to provide emergency contraception and also maybe medical care and follow-up care also. It's very important that we, first thing, of course, the primary response of the health system, we need to see it as a like a public health issue, where you need to support in creating community awareness on the types of violence against women. So for example, in the SHG, now you have a forum of Kudumashri, so you can use the NHG forum, where you can talk about these. I mean, a primary health center doctor or a CHC doctor can definitely go and make the community aware and talk about it very authentically, so that women come up with these issues. And then also it's very important to understand the legal rights and the services available. So this kind of a pamphlets can be distributed, or even the IEC material can be developed in the hospitals, and we can create awareness about the crisis intervention services. You also need to have a list of what are the services that can be available, like the shelter homes, and also the helplines can be provided to the women when they come to the hospital or when they come to the primary health center. You can have such pamphlets which can be provided to women, and you need to set up a referral mechanism. So it need not be hidden. Like whether it is a case of sexual abuse, immediately there should be some mandatory reporting where you need to refer them to, if not police station, at least to Snehita, at least to Nirbhaya, at least to the Child Welfare Committee, so that there is some protection which is provided. And then medical officers and ANMs at the public health center, PHC, should be trained for first line treatment. So often, like though a wound certificate needs to be made, sometimes this knowledge is not enough. So this kind of knowledge should be provided at every level. And of course, we have already talked about the secondary levels, which is identification and reporting of violence, and provision of clinical and forensic care, linkages with legal, police, and social support services, and also providing crisis intervention services through dedicated department or designated trained staff. And the final point is, of course, the provision of clinical and forensic care and crisis intervention and rehabilitation. And very importantly, this should also be part of the curriculum of medical colleges of all the younger junior doctors who may also feel very embarrassed to deal with these issues, which are considered to be very personal. So violence and sexual abuse are considered to be very personal. So also there is a embarrassment or stigma to talk about these issues. So professional education on these issues will help to destigmatize the various stereotypes that they have. And there should be convergence in between the health and education department. So my experience with the help desk was that every single teacher was ready to report, because I had teachers reporting to me on sexual abuse. So that was very informative, and that was also because we had a sustained training program with teachers. So when we look at the programs in Kerala, you have great opportunities which we do not have in any parts of the country. One is the Nirbhaya, where you can actually provide support to children who have been abused. There in all the 14 districts of Kerala. Then you have Snehita, because NRLM, National Rural Livelihood Mission, actually funded Kudumbashri to set up Snehita for dealing with anti-human trafficking. Presently, it looks with cases of both domestic violence and child sexual abuse. It is there. Snehita centers are there in all districts of Kerala. Then, of course, you had the Bhumika program, which was being run by the health department. I myself have gone there to facilitate sessions for all the, not only the, but other healthcare personnel also. And you have this entire network of SHG, Energy, ADS, and CDS of Kudumbashri, where you can really talk, like the primary health center doctors or the ANMs or the ASHA workers, if they are trained well, and train the women to look upon violence against women and child sexual abuse as a public health crisis rather than a personal issue. And then, so this network of institutions need to be developed, and there should be a professional approach in dealing with violence. So it is not a personal issue. It is the worst kind of a pandemic. So we are always talking about, I mean, we are so worried about the pandemic that we presently suffer from, but women over centuries have been going through this pandemic and suffering from the implications of it. So it's very important that we develop a professional approach in dealing with violence, and we unlearn stereotypes and stigma. So whatever embarrassment we have in dealing with these issues, we need to unlearn that, and we need to understand the power relations, because women are intimidated. They may not have resources and assets. They may not have a home for rescue. So they may, it's very important to understand the power relations that they are subjected to, and we need to deal with the issues with extreme sensitivity. And finally, we need to deal with it with extreme sensitivity and understand the gendering process gone in making women silent about violence and child sexual abuse. Thank you so much. I'll stop here. And over to you for any questions.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was really, we need to know more. We need to interact with you more to know what we can do. And we, you know, when there is a time that comes, we don't know what to do. So we should know that such people exist, and we should keep your numbers ready. Deepthi, you are ready there. Your comments.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, madam. Dear madam, that was a really in-depth overview of the problem. As you rightly said, we are currently undergoing the pandemic of corona, but UN has currently said this shadow pandemic of domestic violence, because during this corona lockdown time, what has maximum gone up is the domestic violence and violence against women and children. That is why we thought of this topic. And actually, our two other speakers, Suchitra madam and Madam Hani Varghese, were known to us. We accidentally could meet you, and we now know that corona had its own positive points as well. That is why we could listen to you. Thank you so much. While this pandemic is over, we would like to have you here personally for our next conference to talk more in depth about it. I would now hand over this to Abhaya for carrying out the discussion part. Or Shobhana madam. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
No, there are so many people in the audience who are saying it's a very lovely topic, like Nalini and Priya. I would like you to unmute yourself and give your comments. Nobody?
Feedback or any questions you may ask.
Yeah. There are no questions. There are just great comments on the chat box, I think.
Good evening, madam. Good evening.
Yes, Dr. Nivin, you are a firebrand activist. I'm sure you will have so many questions to ask the judge and
Today, I would be a rebel here in this talk. First of all, let me congratulate WDW for this informative session. But I would like to humbly remind this forum another side of the story. The laws which have been framed for the safety and security of the women of this country are being widely misused and exploited. Our women can simply walk into a police station and give a complaint saying that such and such person has misused me or some kind of sexual violence has been done against me without any evidence. And as per section IPC 354, this person earlier, now this is not the situation, earlier would directly be put behind bars, would be taken to jail without any investigation or interrogation. There were thousands of complaints registered in the various police stations of this country against innocent men just because some wrongdoing of a particular female was taken up by this man. They were mainly bank managers, they were officers, senior officers, and many other people. I'm just highlighting another part of the, another side of the story. Later,
yes, Nivin, you are very correct.
Later on, the Honorable Supreme Court identified this lapse in this law and then came out with an observation saying that a proper primary interrogation and investigation should be done so that at least innocent people could escape from this act. At least some of the people here know. I don't know whether Honorable Justice Honey Madam is still participating in this topic. At least quite a few people, some people know me. I am the immediate past president of IMA. I am the president of the Anesthesia Society. I am the director of Thrissur YMCA. I am the medical board chairman of CSB Bank Limited. A public figure like me, I should confess that I was a victim of a very pre-planned, conspired act against me, a violence against me, and a case filed against me just because I alleged or I complained about a misappropriation of funds in one of the societies where I work. And luckily for me, the investigation team who came, I had a 354 registered against me. I had a 164 registered against me. But luckily for the investigation, there were two investigations. The local police investigated, they found out that it was a fake complaint. Again, see, that is where I would like to tell. These women always have an upper hand. They can go on complaining. They went to the
sorry, Nivin, sorry. We do not have an upper hand. We do not have an upper hand. We will soon have an upper hand. You are you are just an exception, Nivin. But there are 90% of women who are suffering from the atrocities put on them. Even no, we can't accept that sentence that we have an upper hand. Sorry, we are trying. We will have an upper hand tomorrow. We will have it, not today. But
ignorance you have because you don't know about it.
We know it. We've seen many men who have been suffering, but that doesn't cover up the 90% of women who are suffering.
See, there was a crime branch investigation against me. Both the investigations came out gave me a clean chit. And now I have a case registered against that particular lady.
Great,
No,
we accept that you have that capacity.
the thing is, I just want to remind the medical fraternity of Thrissur of another dangerous thing what happened here in Thrissur. If you know what has come out in the newspapers, there was a case registered against a professor of anesthesia, an associate professor of anesthesia, and a senior consultant anesthesia, just because a female
yes, we know that. Yeah, we know that hospital
failed in the exam. And
yes.
the reason what she told that she waited whether she would pass or not. And when she found that she failed, she gave a complaint. And that case is still on, which our society is also.
Many men who are suffering. We accept that. Yes.
Madam, I just wanted to highlight. I'm sorry if I've.
No, you're good. You're good.
I just wanted to highlight the other part of the story, other side of the story.
That's good.
Which is also where thousands of people, innocent people, and I know several people. After I got victimized, I have been looking into cases like this, and I know many people in Thrissur who have committed suicide, innocent people, just because they could not, they could not undergo that mental trauma. So that is one thing which I would like to highlight. I would like to stop at this juncture. I would like to just say the other part. I just wanted to share the other side of the story. Thank you for your personal
Yes. Nivin, I have personally heard of school teachers who have been accused of rape and they could not get married because they have been accused of rape. Conductors who have had 3-year-olds sitting on their laps and they've been accused of rape. We do hear about the bad side of other side of the story. We know that, but because it is the ratio of violence against men and the ratio of violence against women, the proportion is more towards this. I do sterilizations and I have got a video where the rings are applied in both the tubes and still the woman is pregnant. But that video was taken 20 years back and I do not have another video to replicate that. Similarly, Nivin, you will have 2 or 3 incidences where you will say men have been suffering, or some teacher who has been complaining. The colleges have been closed down because of wrong accusations. There are always wrong things in society. But just like in Mahabharata, always the good will come out in the end. But as of now, more women need our help than men. Both men and women need our help. But the proportion is higher in women. And the proportion of women who can talk for themselves is little less than the proportion of men who can talk for themselves. The difference between men and women I see is that women lose their temper and they start shouting. And you think that shouting is right. And after that, the women have kept quiet. And the women, they are scared of shouting because they are more intelligent people. So they just keep quiet and they listen. This is what most households have. The husbands will ring up to the OPD to find out what the doctor is talking. Bloody, you either come with the woman into the OPD or you leave her alone with the doctor. These idiots, they do not have the patience to come with their wives and they do not have the patience to wait for the consultation to get over. That's because they have less brains. And we need to give the power to the brainy people, which are the women. I'm so sorry about talking like this. So, but we need to give the helping hand to the women, however badly the men are getting suffered. Dr. Shekharan, you are hiding there. Are you there in front of the screen? Dr. Shekharan? Oh, he's just he's gone for his dinner, I think. Anyway, but you would have had a nice retort from Dr. Shekharan if he was in front of the screen and he would have given you a lot of help from there. Yeah. He is a professor of gynecology in Calicut Medical College, ex-professor of gynecology in Calicut Medical College. And we always have a lot of fights with me and Dr. Shekhar, So he always will get humiliated if I start fighting.
No, not for the wrong
sir, where are you, sir? Please help
Nivin.
I'm having a fight with
Nivin.
Nivin.
It's okay. Doctor has said something that is okay. But I think we are concerned about the safety of the women, which is our primary duty. And we are happy about this webinar that has happened. Many things we could learn.
So why are you not showing us your face, sir?
It's not to be.
Okay.
Anyway, don't worry. Don't worry.
So you won't help Nivin? You won't help Nivin against me, sir?
Madam, I don't.
What did you say? What did you listen?
He's saying more men are getting affected than women, sir. So I thought as a man you will help him.
Please read me correctly. What I said was
for women.
Yes.
He wants to be for man, sir.
No. I had lived so far for women only.
Yes, I know that.
Rest of the period also I will spend for women, because we have to help the poor victims of this sort of an action. There may be occasionally some men are also being affected. That is true, and there is some provision for that also. We have to see, but mainly the innocent people are victimized by. We have to get to still accept that the women are not that powerful as men. But
yes,
as you said,
that's there.
As you said, a day will come that you will become more powerful than what is today. That yes. I am waiting for that.
Yeah, we are all waiting for that. Women are the pillars of society.
Okay. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you, sir. I wish I could see your face. It's so nice of you to log in, sir. We are honored.
Doc, I have missed that area where click and all. I was about to leave. That's why I could not go back. It's okay. I sympathize with the doctor at the same time, who has said his personal things.
He's
but
an anesthetist from Thrissur, sir. He's a
okay. That is okay. But in the main issue that we have talked was very good today. Dr. Suchitra and the honorable judge and the other social worker. I hope she's a social worker also. I do not know. All of them presented very well to emphasize our duty to protect these poor victims, especially young girls. Actually, I came to know today only that a child of POXO case cannot be examined by a male doctor. Only today I came to know.
I know, we keep learning all our lives, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Thrissur Society, Dr. Deepthi and others, and Dr. Shobhana. Okay, that was very nice. I congratulate all the presenters. It was all very useful. Thank you once again. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. You know what? It's just not for the woman. It's for the country. Because women are the pillars of society. And if the women cannot be powerful, the country cannot be powerful. We make Indians, or whether it is a boy or a girl, the way a boy or a girl behaves as an adult depends on the woman in the house as much as the man in the house. But a woman generally is more with the woman, with the children. And how a country will behave depends on how the child grows up. And if the child has to grow up with a confident mother, you will have a confident country. And a confident country can run much more than a non-confident child, a scared child. You know, everybody cannot be Nivin, who will come and shout for all his rights, and he's very good at it. But there are many men who are very diffident. There are many women who are very diffident. And why are they diffident? Because their mothers were scared. Why are their mothers scared? Because women are being treated badly. Correct, Seema? You agree with that?
Yes, ma'am. So I just wanted to share, it is also a question of power relationships, which very rightly pointed out by all the doctors. So we have huge instances of communities also being badly treated. Like I also work with all the other states of India. So we have, the SC or ST community is also very badly treated. So it is also a question of huge power relationships within the family, where there is those who are extremely powerful can, behave badly. And also it is learned through a process of. So as we know that even now, despite being in a state like Kerala with a high human development index, we are not able to empower our girl children. So we are not able to make the girl children say no to these acts of violence or any form of violation. So that is.
But the high incidence of violence reported in Kerala, I think it's not correct, because in North India, they are supposed to touch the feet of their sister-in-law, even if the sister-in-law is 20 years junior to them. So that is not reported.
Yeah, that is not reported.
We are better off than North India. We cannot
be. We are much better off.
Yeah, how can you give code? Your courts are saying that we are not, we are having too much incidence of violence. I think that the incidence must be higher in North India.
It is higher, ma'am. Reporting is very, very poor.
They don't report,
the reporting is very poor. And also because it is a kind of dictatorialship where they may not be able to even reach the, judicial systems or redressal mechanisms.
Anybody
Okay.
else would like to unmute themselves and talk on this topic?
Dr. Shobhana, one word.
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Shobhana. I think the population basis, it says that women are almost 51%, both in Kerala and also all over India, almost 50%.
Okay.
I think the parliament seats should be 50-50, and the assembly seat also should be 50-50 for men and women. That's
I don't agree with that, because parliament running a country is not should be by, because
everybody is capable. Everybody is capable.
But as long as we are looking after our children till we reach the age of 50, we have to look after our children. Only after 50 we become free.
We have to have the power. Until the power is there, nothing may not happen. Things are happening. That is why I am happy. So thank you very much once again.
Women need more seats. We agree with you, sir. We really agree.
Thank you very much once again. Thank you, the panelists. Thank you, Thrissur Society. Good night.
Yes, sir.
Nice topic and well delivered. I am Dr. Santosh Babu. I would like to give one information to the available audience at the end. Everything was delivered correctly, and a lot of new informations to even senior person like me. I'm happy that I was instrumental in starting the first GBM clinic, gender-based violence clinic at Thrissur.
Great.
As per the government order. Once the government order came, a lot of hospitals were apprehensive, and they were apprehensive about the need for such a clinic in casualty. Thrissur was the first district to start the clinic in the casualty. I would like to inform the doctors and others that it is the gender-based violence clinic. And almost for 5 years, I was the only person referring male person to the clinic, gender only, not female alone. So the 100% of the cases were female, because even doctors and other people, health workers, thought that this is for the female. That was a bias. Even now, it is even the counselors say that it is only for females. That is not correct. Government gender-based violence clinic attached to the general hospitals and district hospitals are both the gender, male and female. So any person with a similar experience, especially when Dr. Nivin, I agree to Nivin that these type of reformations in the society for female is almost some bias is there. Even for the judges line, there is some bias towards the male, and largely misuse. It is not a small thing, but these cases usually doesn't come up a bit. I agree that there are more violence against female as per definition, but male cases doesn't come up. Even doctors are not asking and referring for domestic violence against male. My point is, we should ask the male. They are suffering, even if it is elderly. The last person, as per my knowledge, from Cherur, out of the court paid 15 lakhs for a fake complaint. From Cherur, the last person I know as the leader of IMA, I know a lot of the doctors who have paid out of the court, out of the settlement for these type of games which is being played. So a lot of such exploitation are happening. It doesn't come to light. Even the court, I have talked with the Vanida, the family court judge. He was a sincere person. I am not disclosing the name. He talked to me for almost 3 hours about the fake cases which are coming out. That is a fact. This may be a phase, as Dr. Shobhana Madam said, it may be a phase so that it may clear up. But currently, doctors and other people, especially when you are known, and when you are on afford, you take care, and please register in the gender-based violence clinic for male. Female goes and they are referred. Children goes, they are referred. But you have to register the incident in the gender-based violence clinic attached to the government, because it is a actually it is an evidence, prima facie evidence. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you for your efforts. We all need to get out of our comfort zone and try to help society in some way or the other. And your notes that you have given us, which will give inspiration to a lot of people to do such work. I'm very sure. Yes, Deepthi, are you there? Would you like to ask anybody else? Anybody else wants to say something? Joy? Okay, fine. Okay. Does anybody else wants to say anything?
Actually,
anyway, there are only a few people sitting around, but let it come out of your young blood, the bubbling blood.
Examination part, Madam Paranu, Honey Ma'am Paranu, Namka, the Paraya, nominate medical superintendent in case parents the potato good living, Honey Ma'am Hondo in carry the poyo. Upon Anangilla, he put it a relatives and never know from R. Villa they were in the Putical Anangilla, hospital staff on R and this and the Manslaila. Honey Ma'am,
I think she has left.
Okay. അതുപോലെ റേപ്പിന്റെ ഡെഫിനിഷനിൽ ലേഡി ആയിരിക്കും വുമൺ ആയിരിക്കണം. അപ്പൊ ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡേഴ്സിന്റെ കാര്യം എന്താണ്? കാരണം അവരും ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള ഒത്തിരി അസോൾട്ട്സ് നേരിടുന്നുണ്ട്, അബ്യൂസുകൾ. അപ്പൊ അവരുടെ കാര്യത്തിൽ എന്താണ്? അതും ഒന്ന് കേൾക്കണം എന്നുണ്ടായിരുന്നു.
അത് നമുക്ക് ആദ്യം പെണ്ണുങ്ങളെ തന്നെ രക്ഷിക്കാൻ സമയമില്ല അഭയ. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടാവാൻ ഇപ്പൊ ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡേഴ്സ്. It takes some time now. Yes, we agree that transgenders numbers are increasing, and tomorrow we will need to have another sitting where transgenders are also.
So after the Justice Verma Commission വന്നതിന് ശേഷം Justice Verma Commission വന്നതിന് ശേഷം Criminal Law Second Amendment Act we can also bring our same law can be applied to transgenders also who are facing violence.
Okay. Thank you.
So അതേ നിയമം നമുക്ക് രണ്ടിലും അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യാവുന്നതാണ്. So that is a major advantage after the Justice Verma Commission.
Great, thank you for that.
And another thing is that 377 is also repealed, like because now like Mumbai 377 the unnatural offenses are penalized, but now like you have the right to have a homosexual kind of a relationship. So transgenders cannot be beaten up on the basis of having relationship with the same sex.
Dr. Geeta Devi from Guruvayur, would you like to say anything? We thank you for logging in.
Madam, ഞാൻ കുറച്ച് ലേറ്റ് ആയി കയറാൻ. 9 ആദ്യത്തെ ഭാഗം കേട്ടില്ല, പക്ഷെ കേട്ട ഭാഗം വളരെ നന്നായിരുന്നു. നല്ല ഇൻഫോർമേറ്റീവ് സെഷൻ.
Thank you, madam. Dr. Sri Vilasan, you have been here with us from the beginning. Unmute yourself, please, sir.
Please unmute, sir. Sri Vilasan, sir. Please unmute.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible but not visible now. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
ഇത് വളരെ സസൂക്ഷ്മം വീക്ഷിക്കാൻ നിങ്ങളുടെ ടോക്ക് അസലായിരുന്നു. പക്ഷെ നമ്മൾ പുരാണങ്ങളിൽ നോക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ വാസ്തവത്തിൽ നമ്മളെ ഒരു ഗേൾ ചൈൽഡ് എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഐശ്വര്യത്തിന്റെ സൂചകമായിട്ട് കണക്കാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നു. പുരാണങ്ങളിൽ ഉപനിഷത്തുള്ളൂ. പിന്നീട് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു പിന്നീട് വന്ന വർഷങ്ങളിൽ കൂടിയുള്ള മാറ്റങ്ങൾ കൊണ്ട് വെസ്റ്റേണൈസേഷൻ കൊണ്ടോ അല്ല അർബനൈസേഷൻ കൊണ്ടോ വാസ്തവത്തിൽ ഈ സ്ത്രീകൾക്ക് നേരെയുള്ള അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പെൺകുട്ടികൾക്ക് നേരെയുള്ള അതിക്രമങ്ങൾ വർദ്ധിച്ചു വരികയും വാസ്തവത്തിൽ വീട്ടിൽ തന്നെ നമ്മൾ അച്ഛനമ്മ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ബാഡ് ടച്ചും ഗുഡ് ടച്ചൊക്കെ മനസ്സിലാക്കി കൊടുക്കുകയും അതോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ അവർക്ക് വേണ്ടത്ര ശിക്ഷണം നൽകുകയും അതോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ കളരിപ്പയറ്റ് തുടങ്ങിയുള്ള അഭ്യാസങ്ങൾ പഠിപ്പിക്കുകയും ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഒരു പരിധി വരെയെങ്കിലും വാസ്തവത്തിൽ കടുത്ത ആക്രമണത്തിൽ നിന്ന് രക്ഷിക്കാൻ കുട്ടികൾക്ക് സാധിക്കുമെന്നാണ് എനിക്ക് പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് പെൺകുട്ടികൾക്ക് രക്ഷിക്കാൻ സാധിക്കും എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത്. പല ആൾക്കാരും ഇപ്പോൾ പെപ്പർ ബാഗ്സ് കൊണ്ടാണ് കുട്ടികളൊക്കെ സ്കൂളിൽ പോകും കോളേജിൽ പോകുമ്പോഴൊക്കെ പലപ്പോഴും ചെയ്യുന്നത് അങ്ങനെയാണ്. അത് കൊണ്ടുവന്നിട്ട് എന്തെങ്കിലും പ്രശ്നം ഉടനെ തന്നെ അത് സ്പ്രെഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അതുകൊണ്ട് പലപ്പോഴും രക്ഷപ്പെടാൻ സാധിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ സാംസ്കാരികമായിട്ട് നമ്മുടെ മനസ്സിന്റെ അകത്തുനിന്ന് തന്നെ വരണം. ഗേൾ ചൈൽഡ് ഗേൾ ചൈൽഡും ബോയ് ചൈൽഡും യാതൊരു ഡിഫറൻസും ഇല്ല. അവർ ദേ ആർ ബോത്ത് ഈക്വൽ. മാത്രമല്ല ഗേൾ ചൈൽഡ് വീടിന്റെ ഐശ്വര്യമാണ്, ലക്ഷ്മി ദേവിയാണ് എന്നുള്ള സങ്കല്പം വീട്ടിൽ നിന്ന് തന്നെ ഉയർന്നു വന്നാൽ മാത്രമേ നമ്മൾ സാംസ്കാരികമായ മാറ്റം വരുത്താൻ സാധിക്കുള്ളൂ. ഇത്തരം അതിക്രമങ്ങൾക്കെതിരായുള്ള ഒരു സുശക്തമായ മതിൽ കെട്ടിവരുത്താൻ സാധിക്കുള്ളൂ എന്ന് വിശ്വസിക്കുന്നു. താങ്ക് യു.
ഡോക്ടർ ശ്രീവിലാസൻ, താങ്ക് യു. ഡോക്ടർ ശ്രീവിലാസൻ നല്ലൊരു കവി കൂടിയാണ് കേട്ടോ.
ഹലോ
പറഞ്ഞോളൂ.
ഡോക്ടർ അഭയ.
ഡോക്ടർ അഭയാണ് ആയിരുന്നത്. ഐ ആം ഡോക്ടർ ശോഭൻ ബേടെ മാഡം.
I am Honey.
Yes, Your Honor. We can't see you now.
ഡോക്ടർ അഭയ രണ്ട് കാര്യം ചോദിച്ചില്ലേ, രണ്ട് ഡൗട്ട്സ് ചോദിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ലേ?
അത് ഡോക്ടർ അഭയാണ് മാഡം.
അതെ അതെ ചോദിച്ചത്. അതില് ഒരു കാര്യം ചോദിച്ചത് ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡറിന്റെ കാര്യമാണ്. അതിൽ ഡോക്ടർ സീമ ഒരു റിപ്ലൈ പറഞ്ഞല്ലോ, nowadays transgender also will come under the definition എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞല്ലോ. That's incorrect. With due respect, let me submit that's incorrect. കാരണം എന്താന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഇന്ത്യൻ പീനൽ കോഡില് the term used is he or she ആണ് പറഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്നത്.
Madam, we can't hear you now.
He or she എന്നുള്ളത് വരുമ്പോൾ റേപ്പിന്റെ ഡെഫിനിഷൻ ഭാഗത്ത് പറയുന്നത് man commits rape on woman ആണ്. Man commits rape on woman ആണ്. മനസ്സിലായോ? അപ്പൊ the term woman does not cover transgenders.
Okay.
അതെ. പിന്നെ വൺ മോർ തിങ്, ഡോക്ടർ അഭയ ഒരു കാര്യം കൂടി ചോദിച്ചിരുന്നല്ലോ, മറ്റേ റെക്കോർഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നതിനെ സംബന്ധിച്ച്, എവിഡൻസ് റെക്കോർഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നതിനെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് ഒരു കാര്യം ചോദിച്ചല്ലോ. പ്ലീസ് റിപ്പീറ്റ് ഇറ്റ്.
ഹോസ്പിറ്റലില് കൂടെ പാരന്റ്സ് നോമിനേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ.
ഓക്കെ. അതിൽ പറയുന്നത് പോക്സോ ആക്ട് സെക്ഷൻ 27 പറയുന്നത് എന്താന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഹെഡ് ഓഫ് ദി ഹോസ്പിറ്റൽ ഷുഡ് നോമിനേറ്റ് എ വുമൺ സ്റ്റാഫ് എന്നുള്ളതാണ് പറയുന്നത് ഡോക്ടർ അഭയ. അതൊക്കെ എക്സെപ്ഷണൽ സിറ്റുവേഷൻസിലാണ്. കാരണം എന്താന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അവിടെ ഒരു കെയർ ആൻഡ് കൺസേൺ എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. കാരണം പോക്സോ ആക്ടിൽ ചൈൽഡ് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ ചൈൽഡ് ബിലോ 18 years ആണ് വരുന്നത്. അപ്പോ ഇഫ് ദർ ഇസ് എനിബഡി to take care of ആണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നോമിനേറ്റ് എന്നുള്ളതാ പറഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്നത്, ഓഫ് എ വുമൺ ഹോസ്പിറ്റൽ സ്റ്റാഫ് എന്നുള്ളതാ പറഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ നോർമൽ കോഴ്സിൽ സീനിയർ എന്നൊന്നും എവിടെയും പറയുന്നില്ല. നത്തിങ് ഇസ് മെൻഷൻ ടു ദാറ്റ് ഇഫക്ട്. ബട്ട് സ്റ്റിൽ നമ്മൾ അത് കുറച്ചുകൂടെ എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് സെക്ഷൻ 27 ഓഫ് പോക്സോ ആക്ടിലാണ് ആ സിറ്റുവേഷൻ ഡീൽ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അതിന്റെയൊക്കെ ഒരു പർപ്പസ് കൂടി ഉണ്ട്. വൺ മോർ തിങ് ഈസ് ദർ, ദി പർപ്പസ് ബിഹൈൻഡ് ദിസ് നോമിനേഷൻ ഈസ് ദാറ്റ് ടു ഹാവ് സപ്പോർട്ട് ടു ദ ചൈൽഡ് എന്നുള്ളതാണ്.
Okay, madam.
Okay. Anyhow, ma'am, Dr. Shobhana, where are you working, ma'am?
I'm a gynecologist at Heart Hospital, madam.
Which hospital, ma'am?
Sun Medical Center, Heart Hospital in Thrissur.
Thrissur Heart Hospital. Okay.
It's a Sun Medical Center now, madam.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, I know, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. I have had to come to courts in between, and because I refuse to give money, like Dr. Santosh or Dr. Nivin says, I refuse to give money.
Because you are really motivated because of your spirit. That's the thing.
Thank you, madam. But you said section
really
38 of the POCSO Act.
But very nice to see you, or very nice to hear from you all these things.
Thank you, madam. It's an honor to be appreciated by somebody from the judiciary as highest that. Thank you, madam.
This is what really called as women empowerment.
Okay, madam. So we'll leave Abhay. Thank you, madam. It was nice to have you here. And the way you were saying section 38 of POCSO Act, how do you mug up? If just POCSO Act has got 40 sections and every law has got 40, 50 sections, how do you mug up and how do you memorize? I thought only medical people had to memorize things, and now I'm wondering what is happening. You people
just
have
like you search out even minute parts of body, no?
But I thought only we had to learn anatomy. Now I understand everybody has to do it. Yeah.
Not that much care and skill.
Okay, madam. Thank you, madam.
Okay.
Yes,
thank you. Let me leave, ma'am. Let me leave. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir.
Very nice to have this.
Lovely having you here and lovely having. Abhaya will give the vote of thanks. Otherwise, I will end up giving the vote of thanks. She's supposed to be the official vote of thanks.
One more clarification. I think I heard, so whether I am right or wrong, I am not sure. Dr. Chandrasekhar said that child under woman of not the way, ma'am. Girl child should be examined by woman gynecologist, woman doctor, not gynecologist, woman doctor.
Okay.
Girl child.
Sir has left. He was a professor of gynecology in Calicut. He's Dr.
I heard
P.K.
so.
Shekharan.
I heard so. Subject to correction.
Yeah, yes,
Even
sir.
then, I want to
I will
clarify
inform
it.
him when I meet him at some other webinar now.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, madam.
Okay. Now, vote of thanks. Adilotte kadakette. Joy sir, where on
Okay. Carry on.
So it's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks today. I would like to thank first the respected faculties for today's webinar. Dr. Suchitra Sudhir, Vice President, Kerala FOG, Honorable Judge, Varghese, CBI Court, Kochi, Dr. Seema Bhaskar, Mission Manager, NRLM, for taking valuable time off from their hectic schedule to be with us today. All of the classes were informative, enlightening, thought-provoking, and it will help us in our professional life, even personal and social life. Now I thank Dr. Nishi Roshini and Dr. Deepthi Ma'am, the President and Secretary of Thrissur OGS Society, OGS. We would love to associate you with you people in future also. Thank you for associating with WDW. Now I thank Dr. Joy Manjila and Dr. Pawan, our own President and Secretary. And Dr. Kavita Ravi ma'am was also there in between, our chairperson. And also Dr. Srivilasan, Dr. Nivin, Dr. That's his name, the Vice President of IMA, Santosh Babu sir, and all the audience assembled here, the gynecologists, the WDW members and IMA members, all of you, thank you so much. Good night.
There is an information
Yes, sir.
before leaving. 19th is our general body meeting, and 21st we are conducting a meeting on CME on COVID, an update on COVID vaccines by the main faculty is Dr. Nitin Shah. HOD Pediatrics, Hinduja Hospital, Mumbai. He is also the editor of the book on vaccines, pediatric vaccine. He was past IAP President of India, National. So be there at 8 p.m. for that, and 7:30 p.m. this Saturday, our general body and scientific session. It's the plastic surgery session conducted by Astral Medicine. Expecting you all to join that meeting, and I think nobody has to say anything. Anybody else to say anything? If not, we will close.
Congratulations, WDW.
It was a wonderful meeting, and I express my sincere thanks to all the faculties.
All of you did a wonderful.
Dr. Seema Bhaskar,
Deepthi, the one who called the people.
And other CBI judge, Mrs. Varghese, and Dr. Suchitra also. Thank you all. Thank you very much. And the meeting is closed for dinner at 12. Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.